Well, it's been 3 decades since Ed Burns first bet on himself in a big way and made his movie, The Brothers McMullen.
The bet paid off and launched his career, with Ed going on to make more than a dozen films and appear in others like Saving Private Ryan.
Well, now the writer, director, and actor is going back to his roots with The Family McMullen.
The long-awaited sequel follows his character, Barry, as his adult children move home and he reconnects with an old flame.
Barry, if it gets serious, then we're gonna have to see each other all the time.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, and I got to admit, it's very exciting to me. But as it relates to the kids, I think maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves, because I think it's only been a couple of dates, right?
I've heard the way she talks about him. It's not good, Barry.
Well, look, I mean, I would no sooner tell Tommy who he could date than I would tell you what I've been thinking about since I walked in the door.
I know what you've been thinking.
And I think you'd find it flattering.
Hey. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey.
Let's dig in here. So you have some of the original McMullens there, obviously, for this film, but we have some newcomers.
Yep.
Somebody I just adore.
Yep.
Tracee Ellis Ross. Yes. Did you have her in mind specifically for the part, and what was it like working with Tracee?
It was funny. I was writing the script during COVID. My family were binging Blackish. I fell in love with her. We had met years ago at a Knick game. We sat on Celebrity Row side by side.
Wow.
Kind of got along, and I was like, oh, all right, maybe I'm going to write this for Tracee.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't really know her. So you send the script, you keep your fingers crossed that she responds to it. And then that scene, funny enough, that's the first scene we shot. We didn't rehearse at all, and you never know about chemistry. Yeah. And after like our second take, we're like,
it's going to work.
Oh, this is
That's
good.
great. That's a great story.
Yeah.
But then you have some of the original cast members. I mean, Michael McMullen as your younger brother, Connie Britton as your sister-in-law. What was it like? Did it take any convincing to get the band back together?
Not really, but what was weird was, when we made the first film, the movie's 30 years old, but we shot it in '92. So, like, we were babies. None of us had ever even been in front of a camera before.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. We were all just like, they were... I think Connie was an aerobics instructor. Mike was a waiter.
Wild.
So we were just all kind of newbies, if you will. And so to be back on set, we're like, wait, how are we here doing this after we made this crazy small movie in my parents' house? Like,
yeah. Do you like high five? You're like, yeah, we made it.
It was more like pinching yourselves. It was like, it was surreal. And then Connie and I had a scene back in my childhood home in this film, going back 30 years later, which was really weird.
That's so cool.
For people who don't know the origin story, it really is fascinating. This idea that you would use your own home, not have any money really when you started.
$25,000.
$25,000, and you shoot for a few days. You have to stop, go raise more money. Shoot a few days, go out and raise more money. Do you think something like this ever gets done again? Would it happen today? Could it happen today?
I think it can. What I got very lucky with was there's this famous story where I was a production assistant. Robert Redford was doing press for Quiz Show, and I had a VHS copy of McMullen, and I slipped it to him after our interview. And I said, would you please consider this for Sundance? And Redford took it and said, all right, we'll see. 2 months later, I get a phone call at work, and they're like, you got into Sundance.
Wow.
And then at the festival, the movie plays well. We win the grand jury prize. It gets bought by Fox Searchlight. But then the icing on the cake is Redford comes up to me and says, hey, I took some set to hand me that video that day, but congratulations, the movie's great. And I was feeling pretty high. I was like, my mom's here. Would it be possible that she could say hello? And then Mr. Redford spoke to my mom for like 10 minutes.
Oh, my God.
What a memory.
That was the best, right?
Story. Wow.
So earlier in our show, during our 8 o'clock hour, you talked about working on a third movie. What would the story? You have an idea for the story?
Well, it's funny talking about Tracee because when we finished the film, we'd only worked whatever it was 5 days together, and she's like, I feel like we'd only scratched the surface of these characters, and that was kind of true with all of the actors because you never know with chemistry, right? And everyone had great chemistry, so we all started to, as we were wrapping, saying, you got to come up with a sequel. You got to come up with a sequel. So now that the movie's out. I'm kind of working on something. I definitely think the McMullens are going to go back to Ireland. You remember the first film, there's a subplot about my mother goes back to Ireland. So it's an idea that we have to go back to Ireland for a wedding.
Okay.
That's always good.
I like that.
And then we get to film in Ireland. Which
Let us know if you need us to do any set visits or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
The
you.
Family McMullen is streaming now on HBO Max.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.